हेलो स्टूडेंट्स। आज की हमारी डिक्टेशन ये 90 वर्ड्स पर मिनट की स्पीड से है और इसमें 900 वर्ड्स हैं। ये सेम वही डिक्टेशन है जिसको पहले मैंने 80 वर्ड्स पे दिया है। इसमें बस 100 वर्ड्स एक्सटेंशन है और बाकी सेम वर्ड्स हैं। तो ये इसलिए करता हूँ ताकि आपको सीन भी हो जाए और कुछ अनसीन भी हो जाए, आपकी प्रैक्टिस ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा हो सके। और पिछली वाली में हमने वर्ड मीनिंग्स दिए थे, इसमें कुछ हम जीके की करंट की नॉलेज भी देंगे। तो अगर आपको ये डिक्टेशंस अच्छी लग रही हैं तो हमें लाइक और शेयर ज़रूर करें, हमारा मनोबल बढ़ाएं। और कमेंट बॉक्स में ज़रूर लिखें अगर कोई दिक्कत है, कुछ दिक्कत लगता है या अच्छा लगता है, ताकि हम और अच्छी वीडियोस और डालते रहें। और शेयर ज़रूर करें और सब्सक्राइब हमारे चैनल को, अगर आप हमारे चैनल पर नए हैं तो सब्सक्राइब प्लीज़ ज़रूर करें। और आइए अब हम स्टार्ट करते हैं इसको। स्टार्ट। सर, I am aware of the famous saying, the theory of Roosevelt, a stitch in time saves nine. We will not be like that because that was a promise made to the electorates during his election campaign. But India is a democratic country. For 55 years or so, we have successfully carried on with the Constitution. The only problem that we have faced is after the nine judges' judgment. I do feel that it has created problems and the appointments are not being made in the speed with which they should do. You will appreciate that for the high courts we have the state governments which have to be consulted because it is from their consolidated fund we run the high courts. So the views of both the chief minister and the governor are very relevant. Similarly, the views of the central government are also relevant. All these are taken under the present process. Sir, you are also aware, and the House is also aware, that all these appointments are made as per the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers. This is a very wholesome process. Within this, the only problem which I feel today is that the judiciary has made it binding on the President of India to accept their recommendation. This is an area which we would like to discuss with all the political parties. If we can agree, we can say that it should not be binding. We can say that it should be done through consultation. Consultation means effective consultation. This is an area where the hands of the executive have been tied and we are feeling uncomfortable about it. We would take time to study this. In respect of the allegation of corruption, I have already submitted that we are studying this. I feel the present dispensation of only impeachment is not good enough. There should be provision in law to deal with erring judges by withdrawing judicial work, asking them to go on leave or to resign. All these compulsions and all these provisions should be studied. At an appropriate time, we would come back to the House. Thank you, sir. Nowadays, in most of the high courts, judges are not selected on merit basis but on political considerations. Hence, non meritorious candidates become High Court judges. I would like to know from the Honorable Minister what steps are going to be taken by the government to prevent this malady. The merit is decided by the High Court from where the appointments are moved and recommendations are made. Thereafter, the statement government is consulted. They also go into the antecedents of the persons recommending. After their views, we will also study their antecedents. Then the Chief Justice of India goes into it. The filtration is so much that quality, ability, and integrity are assured out of the available stuff in the bar. So that is taken care of. But as I already submitted to the house, this is an area which needs to be reconsidered in view of the practical difficulties which arise with the change of time. I agree there is a demand all over that this old boy net should be done away with and a new process should be started, but this is a very delicate area where we would tread with caution. Sir, I would like to know from the Honorable Minister through you whether there is any necessity to constitute state commissions if the National Judicial Commission is formed. For High Court judges and Supreme Court judges, should separate judicial commissions be formed? I would also like to know whether for all India judicial officers a judicial commission like the National Judicial Commission should be formed. I have replied already that there is no need for state judicial commissions. There is a proposal pending to constitute all India judicial services, but that also has to be studied carefully because of the various problems raised by the high courts. The high courts recruit their senior judicial officers in consultation with the state governments. So, unless states and high courts agree, it would be difficult to take a decision. Mr. Speaker, Sir, India is the largest democracy in the world. All the organs are accountable to the public of this country, whether it is the executive, the judiciary, or the legislature. Ultimately, the people are supreme. For several years, we are discussing the constitution of the Judicial Commission. This is the demand from the public. The demand from the lawyers is that there should be all India judicial services and there shall be a judicial commission. Every government is discussing it but postponing the creation of a national judicial commission. No government has taken steps to create it. Ultimately, we are accountable to the people of this country. So, why are the governments hesitating to constitute a judicial commission? Every chief minister every union law minister, every prime minister wants to create it, but nobody has taken any decision in this regard. The Chief Justice of the Supreme Court has also several times said that there is corruption. There are only consultations between the state governments and the union government, but there is no concurrence. Concurrence is different from consultation. There might have been consultations already, but what is the role of the union and state governments? In this context, I would like to know whether the government would convene a meeting of chief ministers to discuss all these issues and come to a conclusion to create a judicial commission. स्टूडेंट्स, इसमें कुछ लाइन थोड़ा सा एक्स्ट्रा है, थोड़े से वर्ड्स, वो सेंटेंस कंप्लीट करना होता है, तो इसलिए उसमें थोड़े से वर्ड्स एक्स्ट्रा हैं.